Wow, okay, no, we do not need the music that loud. What about that? That should be better. Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of Let's Play The Legend of Grimrock. This is somewhat of a bonus episode. I was going to do 2 different videos, but I kind of messed up, so I'll explain that in a second. But we never really had a good look at the options and stuff, so I thought this could be the time to do it. I very briefly, at the very end of the LP, showed off the dungeon editor before. Takes you into a different window, so I'm not going to do it here. You've got custom dungeons too. I don't have any installed. I guess you can just browse the workshop from here if you really want some, though. The community can make their own dungeons with custom tile sets and stuff. Maybe at some time in the future, but I might do this at some... Maybe just before Grimrock 2 comes out, we'll do a custom dungeon in the first game. You know, whatever the highest rated one is or something, just to get us back in the mood for it. But I don't know. I am almost 100% sure, though, that I will do Grimrock 2 when it comes out, but that's probably going to be a while. But anyway, yeah, you've got the custom dungeon. There's also the options here, of course. Pretty standard stuff, the music, which I was just fiddling about with here, and a lot of other weird things like tablet mode, which I find kind of interesting. So I guess maybe the idea is you can emulate this on a tablet, or maybe even release on a tablet. I'm not 100% sure. But you can hide item properties as well, so you could go like old school mode. Do you remember from right at the start I explained old school mode? Like, you could do that. You could just basically remove as much of the UI as possible. I believe one of these settings here too has got something to do with a feature that the devs put in the game, because some like fan just before the game came out wrote in and said, hey, look, I've got this disability and I can't play without this, so they just like changed the UI or something. I think that could have something to do with the settings, or it could just be built into the game full stop. Either way, it got the game quite a bit of buzz, actually, just that one little thing, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, there you go, guys. What I want to do for this video is we're going to look at one of the achievements, which is to complete the first floor, which, can I let you guys know, we did, if you remember, 3 videos on the first floor. Okay, each was about 20 minutes long. I think it was 3 videos, could have only been 2, but we spent a long time in there, right? And the achievement, at least 40 minutes, but more likely about an hour, and the achievement is to complete it in 4 minutes, which I've actually already filmed and we'll cut to in a minute. But that's what I'm going to be doing for part of this bonus episode. We're going to be looking at the map, and also I'm going to show you guys something called Toorum Mode, as well as character creation. So let's hit new game. Now, here's the annoying thing. When I very first started this LP, I filmed a video of character creation where I spent, again, about 20 minutes doing exactly what I'm showing you here. And I had it on my hard drive for ages, like throughout nearly all of the LP. I think even after I've edited and rendered all of those things in the big long marathon at the end, I had that video there, but eventually I deleted it for the second time and I can't recover it now, so I fucked up. I screwed up, so I'm gonna have to just show you guys this way. It would have been nice to have seen me creating the characters that we played through, but whatever. So when you hit new game, you get a choice of difficulty. You can go to easy mode, which makes the monsters really slow and is actually what I used for completing the game in just 4 minutes, and I guess scales their damage as well, as it says there, and aggressiveness, whatever you can say that for. There's also normal mode and there's hard mode. One of the only achievements I don't have in the game is completing this game on hard mode, and really they're just scales of the same factors here: damage, speed, and aggressiveness. So there's that. The game comes with some default characters as well, which is pretty cool, but you can always hit create characters there. There's an import button, I'm not quite sure. Oh, from an existing save, that's pretty cool, but I can't click it, so I don't know what's going on there, why I can't click it, but there you go. And there's also old school mode, as I was just describing, which turns off auto mapping completely. Arm yourself with a stack of grid, paper, and pencils, and be prepared to get lost in the dungeons. Beware, you can't change this setting after starting the game. Also, one of the only achievements I do not have is old school mode, which kind of sucks. But so there you go. But we're going to go create our own characters. I'll show you guys the character generation. Now, for the 4-minute achievement, the game time now is actually already running. So if you want to complete the first floor in 4 minutes, not only do you have to complete it in 4 minutes, but you've also got to create your party in that same time, which is very difficult. There's a lot of stuff to play with. So along the left here, you see the 4 outlines for our characters. It gives you just a human by default. You can name them up here. So here's how I did it, basically. The first character, let's say, was Liss, right? I made Liss a human for... Okay, no, let's... to make this make sense. Okay, first we had... Okay, let's say Arachnia, right? Let's say we want to create Arachnia. You create the character. You you type in the name, then you need to choose a race for them. Each race has got a different set of bonuses. So humans are the most populous of the sentient races in the world. They are very adaptable and can excel in all professions. And you see that it says we get 4 skill points for being a human. Well, so basically that means that the humans are just jacks of all trades, basically. You could also become a Minotaur, who are bulky, simple, and keen to violence. They are tolerated in cities only because of their ability to do labor that demands great strength and stamina. Now you can see as a Minotaur, we get strength +5, which is awesome, but also we're slower. Dex -4, so less dodge chance, as we saw with Chaos. But we also get vitality, but a little bit less willpower. So these guys are really kind of fighter kind of people that would be quite bad as rogues because they're quite bad dodging, and also would be rather bad as spellcasters because they have low willpower too. So that's how the Minotaurs work. Lizard men, I never actually played with the lizard men in the LP, so this is kind of your only chance of seeing a lizard man. If you got the game for yourself or you're thinking of getting one now, there is this extra race. Lizard men are social outcasts and generally mistrusted due to their capricious and deceitful nature. They are superb in tasks requiring stealth and dexterity, and here you can see they get a small bonus to dex and a minor loss to willpower, but they also get 3 skill points, so they almost get as many skill points as humans do. Minotaurs only get 1 skill point, and they have a higher food consumption. So if you go with a Minotaur, you can see it's really that you're putting a lot of eggs in one basket with a Minotaur, because you're depending on a lot of strength. You don't want to, and it's really going to impact you on your dex, and you've got this food to be dealing with and stuff. So Minotaurs are kind of finicky in that way, but lizard men are pretty cool because they give you that minor bonus, but otherwise they're reasonably easy to deal with. The last one, of course, though, are Insectoids. An Insectoid is what I made Arachnia, just because it kind of fit what she is, being like an insect, being like a spidery kind of Sylvari in Guild Wars 2. So I made Arachnia an Insectoid originally. And then you get to pick what she looks like. Here, these are the different portraits. There are only 4 portraits for each race available by default. Oh no, I tell a lie, there's loads of human portraits, but there's 4 for the other more exotic races, shall we say. And here you get 4 to select from the Insectoids, but as you can see, none of these portraits look anything like Arachnia did. Well, the game lets you import portraits here, and they're really easy to make. You just need to open up, you can get like a free image editor like GIMP or something, and you can basically take a screen. What I did was I took a screenshot in Guild Wars 2, opened that up, pasted in this small square, just sort of basically Arachnia's head and shoulders, and then you just need to make sure you scale it to 128 by 128 pixels, and then you export it in a TGA format, and then you can import it. The other little thing you can do, though, is you can crop out the background so that it's actually this kind of grey looking background, as you can see here on the UI. If you don't do that, then the background will be whatever the background is. That, say you were doing it from a Guild Wars 2 character, it would be like the blue sky, or as it was for me, it was the trading post. It was the actual real place in Lion's Arch. It was that wall behind all my characters, which I cropped out. So here, once you've done that, you save them to a location, of course, and you can import the portraits, and here you can see they're already, I've got 2 different versions of Natalie here, one that's a bit more zoomed out and makes her look a bit skinny and insectish, I thought, and one a bit closer, which is the one I ended up using. So yeah, you can just make your own portrait. You define the gender. This doesn't change the portrait at all, but it will change the way your characters sound. See, originally I was going to have, so that basically that's how we made Liz. Originally I was going to have Liz be a lizard man, and I wanted her to be a lizard man just so that then because Chaos was a Minotaur. Okay, Chaos was a Minotaur, and then of course Natalie was a human. So I had one of each of these 3 races. I had Natalie a human, Chaos a Minotaur, and Arachnia an Insectoid, and they all made sense, but I had Liz, who was a bit of a problem, and I thought, okay, well, why don't I just make her a lizard man? She doesn't fit any, so why doesn't she just be that? And then, hey, there you go. Lizard men, of course, are pretty good as they get a little bit of a bonus to dex, so they'll be fine as rogues anyway, right? So, and that's what she was going to be. So I thought, why not make her a lizard man? But then the problem was when I got in game, every time Liz got hit, she was like and just making all these horrible noises, and I was like, oh no, Liz doesn't sound anything like that. So I had to kind of redo it, and I made her a human in the end. But that's kind of the way it works, and you can import all of the portraits, so there you go. And that's just kind of how I did it. And yes, I appreciate this is a male there, as I just chose. And that's how I made my team, guys. It's pretty basic, and you can do it with any characters you want. I've seen one of the earlier screenshots I saw with people importing portraits was they'd done like the typical Final Fantasy red mage, white mage, black mage, blue mage setup, which was kind of cool. And I always like to see blue mages as well because they're a more interesting type. But yeah, so you can do that if you didn't do this when you played the game before, then maybe I would recommend it. And if you want to go back for a hard mode playthrough, it's pretty fun. So anyway, that's how I made the portraits. For the more specific like stuff that's going on over here, let's have a look at Liz, who's a human, which means she gets plenty of skill points. So as a human, she gets no bonuses to any of her attributes. So these are her stats. She starts with 60 health, she starts with 50 energy, and she's got 0 in everything except for attack power 1, which means she'll hit for 1 damage, I think. Or maybe not 1 damage, it's something like that, you know. And she has a max load of 45 kilograms. Well, what you can do here is you can change the attributes at the start of the game. These you cannot directly tinker with, as you've seen through the LP as you go forward. So you need to kind of be careful where you want to put them. So you can go into strength, which will raise your attack power eventually, and then you can go into dex, vitality, or willpower. I've talked about these in the LP, which is nice because I spent so long on the original video of this, like trying to explain what all this stuff was, and I was like, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to be boring people on the first episode. So anyway, you can just kind of distribute your stats. You can't go all gung-ho into one thing though, you can only go 6 before it forces you to diversify. But yeah, so you've got the 4 different things to fiddle with here, and then that's pretty much it. That's how your character looks, that's what it's named, that's its race, its class, and all of its stats. But over here on the right, you can see you can start off skills. Skills were just what we were putting points in whenever we leveled up. You got skill points for leveling up, and that was it. So you can kind of start a character off in any of these trees. So for example, with Liz, she was a rogue, right? So I probably put her into, and she was missile weapons, so I probably put her 4 into missile weapons. And that was just, it's basically like leveling up there. However, in addition to that, you also get traits. These you can't pick. I think it would have been kind of fun if later on in the game you like unlocked traits as you continued on by like doing bonus challenges or stuff, or I don't know, just a part of the progression of the characters. That would have been really fun. And you can see on the UI they've got the slots for all of these traits on here, but you only ever add 2. So I don't know what's going on there. I really don't. Maybe it was plans they had before, or maybe I'm missing something massive about the game. But anyway, traits are kind of interesting. There's a certain amount of them as you can pick here. And they just basically alter your attributes in some way or do kind of cool stuff. So most are like attack power +4 you could go for. So early game you'd get nice amount of strong damage. You could go for attack power, or you could go for strength +2. So strength +2, strength is what gives you attack power. So basically the strength is in the long run giving you more attack power because that strength will stack as you level up and up and up. While if you were to go with aggressive and just get the attack power, it's just like a starting off bonus, if that makes sense. So you got stuff like that for all of the attributes: strength, dex, energy. You can just go with a boost to energy for aura, or you can do the same for evasion and so forth. There's some other interesting stuff. There's Fist Fighter, which gives you attack power +6 while you're unarmed. And there's also 2 race-specific traits. There's not a race-specific trait for human or for, what's the other one, Lizard Man? And I don't know why they did that. Why did they only do 2? That's kind of weird as well. But anyway, one of them is for Minotaur, which is Headhunter, as you can see there, which is what I talked about extensively in the LP. The more skulls you carry, the higher their attack power goes. Did on my very original run through. And Insectoid, your skin is very thick and armor-like, just gives you extra protection. So, I don't know, they're kind of interesting. One cool one is Skilled, though, which gives you an extra 3 skill points. So if you go with humans that are skilled, you can actually get quite far into your skill trees before even starting the game. So there you go, you can see I'm already 7 into missile weapons, which is kind of fun. So yeah, anyway, that's it for really character creation. And that's kind of how it all works. I did want to show it off. I would have given you guys a full 20-minute video of this. We're already on 14 minutes, but I've shown off a little bit of extra stuff. But yeah, I would have, of my very first start of the game, and it could have like been bookended. It could have been, oh, you know, the very first thing I produced for Grimrock would have been the last one I uploaded, but whatever. I messed up, what can I say? So we're going to go back to the menu, we're going to cancel out. So, what the other thing I want to do is show you guys something called Toorum Mode. So as we play through the game, we got to know this character Toorum, and we did 2 things in particular. We found all of the notes that Toorum left for us, and also when we finally found his body, spoilers, and we found out how he met his tragic end, we got an achievement for it, which was called Friend of Toorum. Now that achievement on the surface was just an achievement, but it actually unlocked something extra in Grimrock. Because we have that achievement, we can go new game, leave the difficulty, I guess. We could go hard, maybe? I don't know. Why not? You can leave that, and then you can go apply and create your own character. Now, if you just leave one character in your party, leave no other prisoners there at all, go to the top and call him Toorum, okay, and just leave it at that, and then press enter on your keyboard. You'll see that start game isn't available down here. Just press enter. You'll get the secret noise, and the game will start up like any other game, as if you'd done all kinds of other stuff. This is kind of the final big Easter egg secret of the game, which is pretty cool. You get the intro cutscene, which of course we can skip through by pressing escape. And here you'll find you are Toorum. And check it out, you only have one player in your party. You can move him onto the front or the back line. I honestly have no idea what it means if he's on the back line. Honestly. And here he is. This is Toorum. He gets his own custom portrait, which you can't select otherwise. And that's him. It's like I said, as I was playing through the game, I never really expected him to be a human. I just never imagined him like that. But here he is. And not only, it's not just like a glorified way of playing the game with only one character. They actually give you some pretty cool stuff. So Toorum starts off with a reasonable amount of health and energy, as well as protection, evasion stuff. And obviously, we never got to choose any of his stats like you would other characters. So what's going on with him? You can have a look, and he's described as a human ranger. He's level 1, and he's basically balanced to actually be playable through the whole game solo with him. So if you have a look here, you can see our traits that we were just talking about. Now, he has a trait called Tough, which I think is a normal trait in the game that you can get for yourself. So there's nothing weird there. And he also has the trait Skilled, so he's got an extra 3 skill points, which is very cool. But he also has a trait here called Thunderstruck, which isn't available. You can't pick this for any character you would make under conventional means. It's called Thunderstruck, and it reads, you are fast, very fast. And if you'll notice as I move around this room, Toorum is damn quick. He basically moves at double the speed of other characters. I guess the idea maybe is because he's alone, maybe, or it's a specific skill of his. You know, the idea, I guess, being that it's a lumbering party moving about together, shackled, but you know, at the ankles by one another. When you're playing the 4-player mode, but here as Toorum, you're alone, and you're damn quick, so that helps you out quite a lot. Also, if you have a look at his skills, because he's a ranger, he's not any other kind of class that, you know, this is like a 5th class, basically. If you have a look as a ranger, he has a custom set of skill trees that you can go into. He's got armors, like fighters would have. He's got axes, like fighters would have. He's got swords, like fighters would have. Then he's also got earth magic, like mages, fire, and spellcraft, so he's kind of a weird mix there. No rogue stuff going on there, but that's fine by me. And you can also see some of his points have already been allocated. He's already gone into Earth Magic. And I kind of like this because I think Earth Magic not many players would really go into. For me, I don't know. Personally, I always think Earth Mages in games are the least interesting, shall I say. So it was kind of fun for me to play this game as an Earth Mage. But maybe you would be in a situation where you'd never played one. And the game's kind of encouraging you, hey, look, you can already start off in Earth Magic. But also we know that later on in the game, the gear suits Fire Mages quite well. So that's available to you. Air Magic, of course, isn't here, probably the most OP tree, so there's that to consider. Also, one thing I always wanted to mention on this LP, right, is that somebody mentioned, the Fighter's Challenge, if you are an Air Mage, you can make yourself invisible and go in there and get to the cubby hold really safely, which was a really cool idea, and I desperately wanted to mention it and always forgot, so there you go, finally I'm saying it. And he's also got Spellcraft there as well to help him with his willpower and so forth. You also do see that they do a similar thing here as well. Armors, they give him a nice boost for armors. Obviously, he's alone, he's going to need to be tanking quite a lot of stuff, moving quite a lot as well, which is fine because he's pretty quick at moving. But they also move you into axes rather than swords, and again you have to consider, right, well, you know, we're not in swords already, but one of the best weapons in the game is a sword, so maybe we want to go into swords. So anyway, there you go, guys. Like, he's pretty cool, and you can play through the game just as Toorum. Someone mentioned a long time ago to me that the game looked really slow-paced, and I think I might have even mentioned it in the LP, that the game looked really slow-paced when it wasn't on Toorum mode, and now I know what they meant. I thought they just kind of meant it's really intense because you've only got one player, and it will be intense and it will be very difficult, especially because I put this on hard mode. But yeah, now I can see, like, it's pretty cool. It really is fun, and I've never really experienced much of it for myself, but from what I've seen, it's very cool, and it's quite well fleshed out as well. Like, it's a unique class, it's a whole new unique character. So yeah, there are other ways you can like not mod the game, but tweak the game so that you're essentially playing with like a 2-man party or a 3-man party without having to do Toorum mode, so you can have your own character that is in a 2-man party, for example, or something like that. It's totally down to you, I guess. This is the bit with the secret wall. But this is a very cool little secret, and I would really hope to see that Grimrock 2 would have something like this in it as well. But yeah, I want to kill the first snail and then we'll wrap this up, because I can say I'm 20 minutes in and I've got a lot of other stuff I want to show in this bonus video. So there, you can see straight away he's already crit for 36. So he's pretty cool. Pretty cool mode. Come on, kill the snail. Oh man, the early game on this is just ridiculous. It feels so weird having come from the end of the game. You can see the snail's already doing a number on me. Because every single hit, don't forget, like a big thing I guess with Toorum Mode is every single hit in the main game is being spread over at least 2 different targets. But now it's just the one. He's going to be getting hit every single time. And I wonder what happens as you go through the game, like with his notes and stuff. Are his notes still there? I doubt they removed them. And it would be very cool to actually escape the dungeon as Toorum. I don't think there's a unique cutscene or anything, but hey. There's a point where you're asking too much, if you ask me. But there you go, guys. This is Toorum Mode. And now what we're going to have a look at is the achievement to complete this first floor in just 4 minutes. Like I say, I think it took me like 40 minutes or 60 minutes to LP it. I'm going to complete it in 4 minutes and do post-commentary for you guys. So, yeah, we're going to cut to that. I'll see you in a sec. Actually, hold on. Let's have a look at the map first. I really hope this works. The map, when I've tried to film it before, has just died on me in the editing software. And I think it's because my version of the screen capture software was like out of date. So it's updated now though, so hopefully this works. Yeah, this is the map. There's really not too much to say. For the amount I've mentioned this, I almost feel a little bit bad. But here you go. This is the Legend of Grimrock map. It's a PDF file that basically comes in an extras folder on the install directory, which is actually really cool. There's plenty of stuff there. Lots of environment art I've just noticed that I'll probably use for thumbnails on the coming videos, because the whole series hasn't been uploaded by the time I'm filming this. But anyway, yeah, this is the world. I haven't looked at this for a while, I've got to be honest with you guys, but Mount Grimrock is here. Here we go. So we're on this mountain range here near the Merwind Woods, which I don't think I'd ever heard. I'm pretty sure we heard of Malan Yera, the forest of Malan, or maybe it was Malan Tail we heard of before. Some of this stuff I do seem to recognise, but it's actually quite a cool map. I've noticed one thing about a lot of fantasy maps. They're always sort of higher than they are wide, usually, to me, whenever I see them. Most games I've played, or books that you see that have come with maps and things, they're always higher than they are wide, and I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, we're Grimrock. We're not really halfway, just, oh well, maybe we are, but to the north it seems like there's a lot of tundra places, the endless tundra with Amonranth to the top there, and Frostbite's even higher up with Evergreen. There's a place over here called Shards that reminds me an awful lot, just because it's a mountainous area, a rocky, grey, black looking area in a bay of water. To the top left, it reminds me a lot of the Guild Wars 2 map. But yeah, we've got this pretty cool stuff here. This is interesting just because of the second game, really, if you ask me. With that blog I mentioned where they talked about how they could have had more grand stuff, how we know we're going to be outside in the second game. You know, is it going to just be taking place in, say, the forest of Malan Yera? Is that it? Are we only going to be there? Or is it going to be a lot of different places? Are we going to be hanging around the Red Hills? Are we just going to basically be in the Kingdom of Theraeon? Or what? Are we going to be around the northern trading route? I don't know. So, but it's pretty cool. As you go further south, though, it gets kind of deserty, a lot more tropical. So I guess this is quite a large scale we're looking at here. As you can see here, we've got the jungles of Zay, which reminds me a lot of an old game that I used to play that I can't remember anymore. Just the name of it, though. The jungles of Zay. We've got a forest here. The Bay of Northampton. Or Nothampton, sorry. And Nothampton itself, the Toll Islands, the Zafi Desert all the way down here to the south. And yeah, apparently these are the Northern Realms. This is the entire place. I guess there's an Eastern Realm, Southern Realm, Western Realm. Who knows? But there you go. So this is the map, guys, that I talked about a lot. The Isle of Nex, of course. The Isle of Nex was referenced quite a lot. And to see on the map how far away Mount Grimrock really is pretty cool, actually. Just considering how far away that island is. But yeah, there you go, guys. This is the map. I'm gonna cut to me trying to complete the first floor in 4 minutes. See you in a sec. And I hope this actually filmed as well, because usually it doesn't. Okay, and this is purely by coincidence. I don't know whether I'm going to leave the audio in or not. But while I was doing this, I was listening to like a long YouTube video with every version of the Guile theme that's ever existed. And this is honestly like at least 2 weeks after I finished the main big bit of the LP that I did in that big marathon before. So it's a complete coincidence that it happened this way, but it did anyway. So if you can hear the Guile theme in the background, that's why. Anyway, right, so as I explained earlier, to complete this challenge, and this is a real dick move, while you're making your party, the clock's already running. So you have to make a full party of competent players that can complete the first floor. and complete the first floor in less than 4 minutes. So this is me faffing about. This was my first attempt, I will say, and I don't say that to try and brag. I say that, and also the cutscene, I think, runs down the clock too. I say that to explain all the random stuff I'm about to do. What did I do with my party, though? They're all fighters. They're all humans. They're all going to be unarmed, because unarmed, and I kind of had this idea myself, but I also saw in a YouTube video that someone was doing a really interesting tactic that I wanted to try out for myself. They're all unarmed characters, and we're going to basically be swapping them around in the party to actually allow those on the back line to hit one another, the actual enemy, which is going to be really cool. So this is a nice way of basically doing damage on the first floor, a reasonable amount of damage on the first floor, without having to bother faffing about with pickups or anything, and it's probably one of the I don't know whether this is the quickest way, this is just the way that I did the achievement, without having to worry. And this came in quite tight as well, I'll tell you. I show you the timestamp at the end. Something I never really did in the LP was look at the statistics window on this game, but I do that at the end of this whole little thing, because this is kind of where the bonus episode is going to end. This is where Grimrock really finishes after this. But yeah, so we're all unarmed characters. We're all basically fighters that have got perks and things that give us lots of strength. We have the trait that makes us deal more damage while we're unarmed. And we should be hitting about 20s. Oh, no, we're not. See, in the video I watched, the guy was striking the snails and stuff for 20 damage. And I'm not sure how he made his characters, but whatever. No, see, I'm hitting almost 20. I'm hitting 10 to 20. Anyway, so as you can see on my screen, this is and this was the first time I ever really tried this. I remember, again, somebody really early on in this LP was like, hey, why don't you swap your characters around in fights to do that extra little bit of damage? And I remember responding and saying, oh, yeah, that's a cool idea. I'll try and do it if I ever desperately need to. I guess that desperate need never really came until now when I'm doing this achievement. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to hit the enemy, swap into the back line, hitting the enemy, and then like basically go in the left column, then the right column of players. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And that's the idea. But you see, I kind of mess it up. I keep right-clicking when I should be left-clicking, and I just keep fiddling about with the inventory. I don't know what's wrong with me. My motor skills just seem bad. So it felt really hap-handed, and honestly, about now, maybe... Actually, no, it happens in a minute. In this little room here, you can get through without fighting many of these plant guys to get the first gem. But I get surrounded. So there's a plant guy behind me right now, and I'm on easy mode, so he should be moving quite slowly. So I'm hoping to get this lever and then run out before he comes and blocks me in, right? So I pull the lever, but even on easy mode, the bastard gets in on time, which really annoyed me, and I was going to quit here. But I thought, don't quit, just keep playing, because you can keep slapping the enemies about and hopefully get a bit of practice doing this weird fighting style to get me through quicker, because I thought I'd run out of time. I thought I'd taken too long on character creation too. Maybe I can put a timestamp or something on the video. Maybe. I don't know. Vegas is really annoying for timestamps. Anyway, so I didn't think I was doing very well. As you can see, I'm messing about here. Getting through that gate's annoying because you need weight to be on that pressure pad constantly, which is kind of irritating. You've got to weigh it down. You've got to be mindful and have something to weigh it down, which is fine. Then I knock the bloody snail thing on top of the gem there, and then this snail gets in my way too, which is very annoying. So I feel like I'm doing really badly, but this must be a pretty good strategy, honestly, because I don't do too bad. It honestly makes me question how I ever could have struggled on the first floor, because as you guys know, once we've got these 2 gems, which we now do, we open this door and a skeleton comes out. And I remember struggling so much with skeletons, but Jesus, I'm a full party of characters with nothing but a torch equipped and just random stats bunged in, basically. But we just destroy him and he can do no damage. It could be because it's easy mode. That's probably a big part of it, honestly. And all this swapping means that his damage is being sort of spread across 4 characters instead of 2, sorry. But there you go. This is kind of my time of how I do it. Once you get past that skeleton, just bolt it. Just run as fast as you can. Get down, and there you go. Achievement unlocked, Dungeon Runner. And that's how you get it. I really didn't think I was going to be able to. And I wanted to show you guys after that how long it took me. So I go to statistics, and there you go. I know this is a couple of seconds after I got the achievement, but 3 minutes 59. 1 second later, and it would have been on 4 minutes. So really as close to the bone as you can possibly get it. And when I did that, I realised as well, hey, why don't I show you guys the stat screen as well, just to kind of sum everything up here on the Grimrock LP. Why don't I show you the stat screen on my main file? So there you go. 13 hours, 11 minutes. Everything seems to be moving quite quickly here. Just plenty of stuff that I got. All the secrets found, as you can see, 71 out of 71. Treasures found, 7 out of 7. Toorum's notes, 16 out of 16. I wish I'd shown you guys this while I was playing through the LP. To be honest, I totally forgot about it. And for a while, I was kind of unsure if I'd found all of Toorum's notes too. But I did, so there you go. And 25,766 tiles moved. Pretty amazing. So now what am I doing, you might be wondering. Well, there's another achievement. Basically, there are 3 achievements right now on this footage that I don't have. I've got all of them except for 3. Now, those 3 are... complete the game in hard mode, complete the game in old school mode. Something that might be fun is to go Toorum hard old school mode and just knock all of those out in the park if I ever replay the game. But those are 2 achievements I don't have. But one other one I don't have. Oh no, and there's another, sorry. One of the other ones that I don't have, is attacking people unarmed. 250 unarmed attacks. Which might sound kind of easy, but I've never played with an unarmed character, so it just kind of makes sense that I don't have it. So I just stood here. This actually counts for the achievement. I'm at the end of the game, so, you know, all my characters are quite quick, so I literally just stand there spamming attacks. So we'll cut forward until I get the achievement. So here, I think I'm about to get the achievement. The other one I don't have, which I'm about to show you, is getting 50, level 50 in a certain skill. That was something I wanted to do in the bonus episode, guys, but sadly I can't, because do you remember how we get blocked in at the end of Grimrock Temple 1? I went back there at the end of the game. You cannot get back out. Even right at the end of the game where I made that save, end game, you cannot get back. How bad does that suck? So you can't really grind or anything at the end of Grimrock. That's it. Once you're done, you're done. And there's no way for me to grind to show you guys a level 50 skill. The combo I was talking about before, though, however, was Assassination, which insta-kills anyone once you finish Assassination if you hit them in the back, and combining that with Invisibility. That was my combo, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you, but I can't. So, anyway, there you go, guys. This is my achievements list, as you can see here. There's some weird ones on here. I really don't know. One for collecting all the skulls, but, like, there's an achievement for just completing the checkered room. Why is that puzzle more special than anything else? I don't know. Kind of weird. But there you go, hard-boiled, complete the game on hard, doing it old school mode, and skill mastery, 50 in any skill. That's all I'm missing for 100%, and honestly, out of all my Steam games, this is probably one of my most complete. So there you go, guys. That's about it for Grimrock. So thanks very much for watching. I thought I'd end it on something special, something we never did enjoy. There was an achievement for this, to find the blueberry pie, the only bit of pie in the entire game, and Natalie feasts away. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much, really, for watching me Let's Play The Legend of Grimrock, and I'll see you for the sequel. Catch you next time.